The best smartphones are often called the Pro. And while today we wanted to see if the new Haval Jolion Pro is the best crossover in its segments, this is TVEC and welcome to the home of extravagant reviews.
4 liters of fuel. Eugene, you're paying for this.
We are in the brand new Haval Jolion Pro 1.5 litre turbo, and we're going to be speaking about how comfortable it is to drive, how it feels to daily drive in a sense, and how it handles the South African roads that we all love.
I love these seats.
These seats are wonderful.
Like when we were driving up here, I fell asleep for like 10 seconds just because of how comfortable these seats are.
Eugene couldn't stop speaking about how comfortable they are, and I have to say it's so quiet in here. It's so just premium feeling.
Yeah, especially compared to like a Corolla Cross, of which we haven't driven yet, but we will in the future. We all know how a Toyota drives. Like we've been in millions of them, thousands of them. We know how they drive to this point. But then when you sit in something like this, many people have like the assumption they're not very well built, they're not very well insulated. Well, the Jolion Pro definitely proves us wrong, because in here, I can barely hear a sound. Like coming from the outside.
Our conversation is so crisp, so easy, and the car is just overall just really well put together, and it slaughters any doubts that anyone should have that the Chinese don't know how to make a car. Speaking about competitors, there's the Corolla Cross, and I have to say, seeing it now in person compared to this, I do prefer the looks of the Jolion Pro inside and out, and the driving, this immediately just feels better built.
It does. It really, really does. I mean, we've been in, as I said before, many Toyotas. At times, they really do feel like how they are.
Yes,
cheaper, much
they
cheaper.
Do feel that. Now, we're not arguing how reliable it is and durable and whatever. We all know Toyotas can drive to the moon and back
and outlast generations of families.
Yeah, if Toyota was here when the dinosaurs were here, they'd still be here. So leave it at that. We're not arguing that. But speaking about how comfortable the car is, this isn't even the top spec, and it is doing so well in this comfortability test that we're doing, as well as when we speak about how economic it is. We have averaged under 7 liters per 100 on our drive today, which is pretty amazing.
I don't know what other car we've done where we've gotten below 7.
Not for a long time have we done a car that's got below 7, to be honest. And then to just end off the segment, before we go into our next segment, we're going to put our foot down. And the car actually doesn't pick up too badly at all. The engine's definitely punchy enough, and Eugene will get to that later on.
Yeah, but let's head outside to talk about how it looks. Well, this drives very nicely, I will say that. But I know you do have some gripes with it though.
I do. Now, this is fully opinion-based. Some people are going to disagree with me, some people might agree with me. But as a performance enthusiast, why, Haval? Why do you have a front splitter and side skirts and a rear diffuser and a spoiler on your affordable CUV?
It's kind of bizarre.
It's quite bizarre, to be honest. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. Now, I don't mind the wider arches with the black accents, because a lot of crossovers, for example, the Countryman that just went past has those.
Yeah, it's true.
And so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
But I wish their wheels were slightly bigger and fitted more into the actual fenders of the car.
Yeah, because this does go up against the Corolla Cross, and in comparison to that, this looks like a regular hatchback that was brought up a little bit more and widened in terms of how it looks and how it stands.
Yes.
But overall, I would say, I think I do agree with you on that by having these bits here. I don't know what the function is for. Maybe it is just to look cool.
I understand it.
Yeah, we
understand there's other people that will definitely like it. It's a good selling point. Now, we're going to get to some more good things, so stay tuned for that. But it's just, as a performance enthusiast, knowing that these are for performance cars that are going on track,
yeah,
it's a bit finicky.
It is a bit finicky.
But leaving that alone, let's speak about the good. I do prefer the design over the Corolla Cross.
Yeah.
The Cross looks completely different to what the normal Corolla does, and it doesn't look bad at all. They've made a good progress with the actual design of the car.
Yeah.
Whereas this, though, just is really good overall. And then speaking about the actual good stuff, I really like the black accents, including the black mirrors, as well as this black on the grille here with the big silver and your big silver Haval badging. Yeah. Now, speaking about the badging, if you didn't know, Haval's gone a route where they're trying to include the family tree. And by that, I mean the GWM badge on the back of all new Havals.
So it's like Mini in front and then BMW at the back.
Indeed, it is like that. And speaking about the back, what do you think about it?
I like how it looks, I'm not going to lie. although I don't like the fake exhaust pipes,
Yes.
that's really bothering me a lot. Like,
Yes.
like really a lot. I don't know why.
And again,
Haval,
it's our opinion, as especially coming from like a car enthusiast point.
true.
We understand though that if you're not a car enthusiast, the kits and the exhaust might just make that little bit cooler for you to buy.
If it makes you giddy, then by all means be giddy. But if you're a real performance enthusiast, things like this will annoy you, like us. But I think we need to head inside to actually speak about how it feels in the interior.
So guys, if you are still around, I just want to give you guys a big thank you. Thank you for 1,900 subscribers. Get us to 2,000 ASAP. And we are on the road to get 15,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Because when we do, we have 1,000 horsepower prancing horse waiting for the channel. And then most of all, I just want to give a big thanks to Ford here in Santon, MG and Ford Rivonia for giving us this wonderful car. They've given us plenty of cars. If you want to go through the channel, they've given us the A35, Ford Raptor, just to name a few. So stick around for the future that we have. And once again, thank you.
Wow, it is so quiet in here.
I think Haval's gone to really extensive margins to try and make it as quiet and premium feeling inside here. And I think they've done a great job at that.
Because I don't remember the Corolla Cross being this quiet inside. And that had
Definitely
leather.
was. Yeah.
That had leather all
That
around.
was a great trim. Now, speaking about trims, this is around about the middle trim of it, so you can get a higher spec car than this, and that's why you don't find a leather steering wheel or actual leather here. There's this leatherette, but the leatherette is beautifully done. Really beautiful blue stitching. This is a nicer plastic over here. Now, even though these are actual plastics on the side here, they actually look like they're stitched, which is quite cool.
They mimic stitching. They mimic stitching.
It's cool. They've made a fun way of going about with, I mean, the cheaper plastics there. You do have some more soft leatherettes over here, which is nice.
Yeah.
This weird fake wood trim here. And then you've got this really cool, like almost carbon fiber looking trim that runs across even parts of the dash here.
Yeah.
Which is quite lacquer. I like it.
I mean, for the price you're getting it at, it's a gimmick, and it's interesting to see because you don't get this on a Corolla Cross, because if you do, you have to pay a lot more.
Yes, and I think the Corolla Cross is a lot more grown-up feeling inside.
True.
This kind of feels like there's a bit of youthfulness in it. I mean, these seats are cloth seats and they are so comfortable. Speaking about practicality inside here, it's quite a deep armrest, quite a bit of space there.
True.
If you were to open this little pouch here, you've got 2 cup holders and you press down, you've got your French bread.
Well, you have a cup holder and then one for Red Bull.
Yes, and then one for Red Bull.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then you have a big storage space underneath here, actually, as well as 2 USB chargers, wireless charger here. Got some space for cards and keys and coins and stuff like that over here as well.
True.
You have your
Gear
Genesis gear selector, Cadillac looking gear selector, which is quite cool.
Yeah, you don't get that on any other, like, vehicle in this segment.
Yeah, and you don't get it in any affordable CUV. I mean, the layout of this with the chrome around the infotainment, I have to say the infotainment is quite good. It's very responsive. Now it's all touchscreen. There is no control over here, which some people may like, some people might not. But generally speaking, it's very easy to use. It's got everything you need. It's very easy to go through. The only complaints I have, or I should say we have, is there's no physical volume knob or button.
Which is really annoying.
Yes. Other than on the steering wheel.
Well, why only on the steering wheel? Why can't you just give us like a little tiny knob that just lets you rotate
Or
it?
just make these 2 buttons like...
Because they're blank switches right here.
Yes.
They're literally blank switches. But then obviously, as I sit in here, in the gauge cluster of the Corolla Cross, they kind of share similar characteristics. Where I mean by they're both analog digital gauge clusters. Where by digital I mean very tiny.
Yes.
In the middle of it.
They just tell you the very basic necessities in the digital screen, and then the actual speedometer and rev counter are actually analog. Now you join me quickly at the back end of the Haval Jolion Pro, and I'm here to speak about some of the capacity in the boot, or practicality as we'd call it. Now, obviously being a CUV, you're going to need some sort of storage space. And speaking about actual numbers, the Haval Jolion Pro has this much capacity at the back, compared to something like a Corolla Cross that has this. Now that is quite sufficient for the car. I wish this was a bit lower. I don't know if there is a way to lower it. There isn't, but you do get a spare wheel there as well as your kit to change it. So this is quite high, but it's not too high. And this is also quite high, which limits a bit of the storage space. And it's not the biggest, but it's not the smallest. If you want something bigger, just go up in size in the car range. Get an H6 or something like that. But for the size of the car, it's more than practical enough. And kicking it off with a bang, we are now with the Haval Jolion again. And Eugene's arriving to speak about How is this car in terms of performance?
Yeah, so this does have a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with around 130 kilowatts and 270 newton meters of torque. It does have a 7-speed DCT, and I will say that it is laggy. It does lag,
Especially in manual.
especially in manual. Like as I pull the paddle shifters, which I did say is very nice. Yeah, it does take a second before it does engage to the next gear and it does shove you forward, but overall it's still very nice. It's nice and cool. You know,
It definitely is really good.
and then as I take some turns over here, the suspension is actually very nice. Just giving a little bit of beans. That is the thing I do have a little bit of a gripe with this car is when you do change up, there is rev hang quite a bit.
Yes, I think the gearbox is definitely more prone to enjoying comfortable slow driving where you don't feel it at all. It's very seamless and intelligent. And then it kind of already shows that this isn't a performance car at all.
Not necessarily, because it is still a crossover.
Yeah, and the gearbox does show, as good as the gearbox is, it's not going to satisfy you in any way to drive this in manual. I suggest just leave it as it is. But if you are looking at the Jolion Pro, you will be pleased to know that you do get a near 70 Newton meter bump from the Jolion, as well as a 25 kilowatt jump as well. And then you can also get the HEV, which is overall just quicker because of the hybrid assist.
Yeah, but we will join you on the outside. Welcome to the end of the Haval Jolion Pro.
Yeah, and thank you if you're still here.
Yeah, thank you for keeping up this long and keeping up with our shenanigans. But what do we think about how this is compared to like the Corolla Cross?
Well, apart from the weird aero parts and the wheels that are slightly too in for my liking,
True.
it's actually a really good car. Now, the wheels themselves look quite cool. There are a lot of black accents. I mean, the kit that it does have is quite funky, and the interior is just superb for what it is and what price it is going at. So
I love
think
those
overall,
seats.
it's just great.
I love those seats so much. I don't know when last I said that about a car, but
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Especially an affordable car.
An affordable car. I just love those seats to bits. Now, out of 10, I think I'll give it like a 7.
7 out of 10 for sure. And I think there's a lot of space for it to grow, considering that we only did the mid-trim. I'd love to get our hands on a top of the range one and see how that handles. Now, apart from the looks inside and out, the engine's pretty good for what it was. The gearbox is quite good for being a comfortable daily. It's a bit iffy if you are going to drive it sporty.
Yeah, don't do that.
But you're not driving this or Corolla Cross, which is across the road, sporty at all. So
yeah, so if you
it's
are
okay for what it is.
if you are gonna drive it sporty, just leave it in normal mode because it does get laggy a bit.
If you want something sporty, go buy a BMW.
just go buy a BMW, exactly. But again, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ford Sanson, for giving us this amazing Jolion Pro. And as well, thank you to you guys for getting us to 1,900 subscribers. Thank you, every single one of you, for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We have a lot more of these coming in the future. So make sure you head down below, click the subscribe button, click the notification button, because, yeah, the future is looking bright. Let's get to 2,000. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.